First one, I'm definitely, if you could only ever take one supplement or nutrient, the absolute no question would be the fish oil or omega-3.
Okay.
And more specifically, what's called EPA and DHA. Now, please don't tell me to, because it's these big long words, and I'm not going to.
Oh, yeah. You can abbreviate. That's fine.
Yeah. So.
Do we have some right here?
That's the one.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
If you're watching, there it is. If you're not, well, you're hearing about it.
Yeah. So that's one that I take all the time myself, and it's the first supplement that I recommend pretty much for everybody. So fish oil, and everybody hears about fish oil, omega-3, and this has been heavily researched. I mean, there's tens of thousands of really good studies. Since the mid-'80s, there's been masses of studies on EPA and DHA. And fish oil is just so good for all-around metabolic health. Incredible. So it works, and there's a few different mechanistic aspects to it. I mean, the first thing, it makes the blood less sticky. So it's almost like taking aspirin or low-dose aspirin. So you get the benefits of that without the side effects, which is brilliant. Another amazing benefit of taking fish oil is it reduces inflammation in the body. And that's a huge thing that has a knock-on effect on everything.
Yeah.
So even when they look at things, for instance, like all-around mortality, one of the studies, for instance, said it reduced it by 25%, and that's just over a 5-year span, which is pretty amazing.
I was going to say, those two things alone, I'm like, wow, that sounds like it'd be really good for heart health.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because, I mean, they use it, for instance, and there's even like a pharmaceutical drug, which is just fish oil.
Interesting.
And it's certain amounts of EPA and DHA, and that's incredibly good for reducing triglycerides, for instance. I mean, dramatic reductions in triglycerides.
Interesting.
So even people who are on statins, they might add in fish oil or even the medical version of it to reduce their triglycerides further if they're not getting enough results from the statins or whatever.
Yeah. Does it helps with inflammation? Is that going to help with like workout recovery as well?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
absolutely. Okay. And there's really good studies to show that. So, yeah, from the point of view of working out, and so one of the things, for instance, it increases your resting metabolic rate in one of the studies by 14%. That's huge.
How much you have to take?
I think in the study it was only about 3 grams of EPA DHA. That's generally the amount that I would recommend for most people. Again, check with your doctor. This is not medical advice.
by taking
fish oil. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. You see, again, the mechanism is where, for instance, in all the cells, the structure of it becomes much more subtle, and it just allows, it's like oil in an engine. It's a bit of an oversimplification, but it just makes everything flow and work way better on a cellular level. So it really is phenomenal.
I've actually never supplemented fish oil.
Oh my gosh.
I really want to now.
Oh wow, yeah.
I really want to now.
Now you absolutely can get enough through eating fish, but you need to be eating a lot of fish. Minimum
fatty fish like salmon and
salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines are the main fatty fish. Now again, most people I know just don't eat much fish.
Or enough of it, or
yeah, and you'd need to take a minimum of 1 pound a week of fatty fish to really kind of reach those
Salmon's
levels.
Pretty expensive, you know.
yeah, but I mean, so the fish oil is just like head and shoulders above the rest from a health perspective. It's even brilliant for the brain health as well. There's really good research to show that it's very good as an antidepressant, very good for all cognitive ability. Now there's still a lot that we're researching to find out more about the mechanism, the difference between EPA and DHA, because they used to say, oh, EPA is great for the body, DHA is great for the brain, but there's a huge overlap. I think both are great all around. But, oh wow, I mean, you're gonna, like say for instance, when you work out, your recovery is going to be much faster, much better. In the research, it even shows that you gain more muscle when you take the fish oil.
Crazy.
I think it was like a 4% increase in muscle mass compared to the placebo. So much better muscle gain, much better muscle recovery, less post-exercise muscle soreness. So inflammation is good. Like you need inflammation to recover. But the problem is we have this sort of chronic low-grade inflammation all the time.
Right.
Now, fish oil just helps that whole process so that you'll get a good inflammation response, but then it'll come back down again. So you get the healing process, and just overall, you're just going to recover much, much better.
That's
so
great.
Especially when we do the resistance training at the studio, for beginners, and people will experience it. Some people, oh my God, they will have so much, and they'll go relatively light, but they've so much inflammation in their body that they're going to feel sore for a week afterwards.
Yeah.
Other people will recover really quick, but definitely the fish oil.
Okay, didn't you say that you took a ton of this at one stage in life and that you stopped feeling pain?
Yeah,
I know it's a little extreme here, but
yeah, definitely don't try this at home. But yeah, at one point, because when you look at the research of like omega-6 is part of the pathway where it goes from linoleic acid, GGLA, DGLA, arachidonic acid, and then it goes down these pathways, COX-1, COX-2 pathways, and it creates pain and inflammation. So I eliminated completely, as much as I could, omega-6 from the diet, and I jumped up the omega-3, because even the omega-3 reduces the pain and inflammation process of the omega-6 by 33%, but then also has other anti-inflammatory effects. And I was on, 20 grams, which is a lot of EPA, DHA. But it was ridiculous where you couldn't feel, like I could never, the way after you train, you almost want a bit of muscle soreness because you feel like, oh, I worked out. But I couldn't even get that. And I remember I was working with this, soccer team, and I was putting, workout machines in there when we were working with them. And I was just trying to fix a machine, and I had a spanner, and I was tightening it, and it slipped and hit my head. And, it was an unusually hot day in Ireland. We don't get many hot days. But it hit my head, and I thought I was just sweating. I was like, oh, and I kept working.
Oh, my God.
And the guys came back in from practice, and they're like, Thurston, yeah, you got blood all over your face? I was like, oh, shoot. Now, okay, it does help. It makes it easier to bleed because you have thinner blood. Thinning, But I just didn't feel pain. It was weird. I'd stub my toe, and I'm waiting for that, like, it wouldn't happen. So it definitely has a huge reduction in terms of pain and inflammation.
That's like top tier Thurston lore. I love it. You gave some to Ben today because he was complaining about a really bad sunburn. Yeah. Is that for the same reason?
Yeah, reduce your pain and inflammation. Yeah,
crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, so fish oil, absolutely, always my number one go-to. It really is fantastic. Now, in terms of amounts to take of EPA and DHA, roughly speaking, I would recommend, and a lot of the research and studies, it ranges, but about 3 grams a day is a good amount to go for. And that's a combination of EPA, DHA. Because a lot of the time, and this is a big thing to understand when it comes to supplements, is that the type and the amount are very important. Because, I take fish oil. Okay, how many do you take? I just take 1 a day. And they're taking a low dose where it's only like maybe not even half a gram. And then clinically, you're not going to get much of a result with that. So you definitely want to take a good quality one that's high in EPA and DHA. Now you will see, because omega-3, technically you could get omega-3 from, linseed oil or flaxseed oil. And that's what's called linolenic acid. Now linolenic acid, some of it can convert to EPA, DHA, but it's a very small amount. You're not really going to get the full benefits. So you really do need actual EPA and DHA.
Yeah, so for people listening and I guess watching, you may not be able to see that far. This is Vital Nutrients Ultra Pure Fish Oil 700 enteric?
Enteric coating. So enteric coating is something that most people will want.
Okay.
And the reason is, and anyone who takes fish oil, you'll know this.
I know where you're going with this, yeah.
Yeah, the fish burp.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's why a lot of people are put off. They will not take just because of that. Now, I'm so into health, I don't care if I, whatever. But you get enteric coating and you will not get the fish burp. So that actually works.
That's great.
That really is good. Yeah, so with this one, I need my glasses for this. Let's see exactly how much EPA and DHA is in this one. So yeah, 720 milligrams of EPA, 480 of DHA. So that's 1.2 grams per 2 capsules. So I would take a minimum of 4 and really 5 capsules to hit that 3 grams, because 1.2 for 2 capsules, that's 2.4 grams if you take 4 capsules. So the 5 capsules will bring you closer to that 3 grams, the magic EPA DHA.
Do you take this supplement with food or by itself? Does it matter?
I prefer to take those with food.
Okay.
Because it's a type of fat, and I don't know in the research whether it makes much of a difference. But I always feel like you'll absorb most things better with food as part of the digestion process.
Cool.
But because it's enteric coating, I was going to say also, if you eat food afterwards, you're less likely to get that fish burp, but you don't need to worry about it if it's not. One other thing that I will say about fish oil, try and get good quality one, and ideally the triglyceride form. So that says triglyceride form. So that's more natural, and the absorption rate's a little bit better.
Awesome.
Do try to get good quality fish oil, because the last thing you want is rancid oils of any shape or form going into your system. So I always keep them in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
And try to get them fresh and good quality.
Cool.
So I wouldn't skimp on fish oil. So that's the type of thing. Some things are ubiquitous and it's fine, but fish oil, absolutely good quality. But it's going to have a tremendous effect of your overall metabolic health, incredible for circulation, incredible for reducing pain, inflammation, amazing for your brain, for your mood levels, brilliant for muscle recovery, brilliant for increasing muscle. All around great for reducing triglycerides. I believe it increases your HDL. So all around metabolic health, phenomenal.
Awesome.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Take your fish oil.
Yeah.